You know, we've been waiting all day to talk to these young men, and I am ready. You guys look like you're ready for a great show, great conversation. We keep it really organic. I want to introduce my co-host, Tony Cornelius. I'm can't let that opportunity go by. I'm Angela Stridling, and we are here with Dru Hill. And let's give them a proper introduction. Let's bring them out.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Dru
Dru
Hill.
Hill.
Yes. I know they're coming. I saw them backstage.
There he is. There he is.
Yes. Sit wherever you like.
What's
There
up, what's
they
up, what's
are.
up, what's up, what's up?
Woo, yes. Bringing the energy. Y'all look good.
There you
All right,
go.
here we go. Here we go. How
We
you
out
guys?
Thanks for
here,
being
we
here,
out here.
guys. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
How about if we start on that end and go introduce yourself from that end? And
Yeah, that's good.
I'm Cisco. My friends call me the Dragon.
How y'all doing? My name is Scola De Niro. Started off as Rue Scola, but y'all can call me Scola. What's happening?
What's happening?
I'm no Gil and my hair is gray.
What's up, everybody? I'm Black.
No, I'm Smoke.
all right.
Go. Welcome.
Okay.
I hope I'm not. I could be sitting on somebody's microphone. And as luck would have it. Da da da
Way to go, Angela.
da. We're getting off to a good start.
Voila.
Oh man, voila.
Listen,
So-
we're so glad you guys made it to the Soul Train cruise, man. I mean,
Yeah.
Glad to be here.
I mean,
Glad to
happy
be
to
here.
be here.
I've always been a fan of Dru Hill,
Yeah.
you know, since the Thong 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 song.
Right.
It was way before that.
Way before that.
Yes, sir.
It was something I liked about that, you know.
I'm sure.
But thank you guys for coming, man. You know, did you guys enjoy the performance last night? Okay,
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We're going to do something different tonight.
Tonight.
Okay, there
Absolutely.
you go. They're gonna
We like to
mix
keep it
up.
fresh.
Can we start with just talking a little bit about your background, how you guys all got together, and you know, I spent a lot of time in the Washington D.C. area, and you know, right? D.C. in the house.
Absolutely.
Okay,
DMV.
a little bit, a little DMV. And, you know, so Dru Hill was right up the road. Television Hill used to do its show on time. And so everybody loves Dru Hill. Everybody, including myself, right? We love Dru Hill.
Hey, thank you.
So if we can start with just talking about how you guys, friends, got together in the first place.
Well, we came straight out of high school into the music industry. So that's why when people say we old school, I say, no, we soul school.
Ooh, love it.
Because when we first got signed, we were only 14 years old. Us and Destiny's Child got signed at the same time,
Wow.
and both got sat on the shelf, and they put out Brandy instead of us. So it took us a couple of years to get off that contract. Then we kind of gave up on being in the industry, which was good, because when we first got signed, we were still in school, and once we got signed, we came to school, and I was like, man, we just got signed, so F you, F you.
Right.
See you later, peace. And we came back the next year. They was like, hey, thought you had got signed. God said, well, we wasn't going to bring you out until you figured out how to be humble. And so we got humbled, and a couple years later, I passed it a note.
That ain't always what happened. We got signed, and we were some young guys, like you said, 14 years old, but our voices were so mature that the labels didn't know what to do with us. So our label had us singing these songs that made us seem too old, but nobody knew how to make the records for us. So one until we did, and if you're a fan like April Showers and All Alone, and these songs that seem more like they were just us. And those are songs I produced and, started out or whatever. But that's not the point. The point was we had to find ourselves, and a lot of times artists don't get a chance to do that. And we were fortunate enough in the situation we went to, we've been able to present ourselves to you all from the beginning. We didn't have to deal with a lot of the trying to be something else. The record company will give you songs or whatever, but we've always just been able to present that Baltimore, that hard feeling, that, being in love, struggle, and everything else. So we just happy to be here.
Yeah, we was
Absolutely.
when we first came to the label, they didn't want my hair blonde because it was pretty taboo at the time. So my bad for everybody dyeing their hair blonde.
Starting the trend.
But what happened was we had the song "Tell Me," and we were going to shoot the video, and they made me cut my hair down to my natural hair color. And the reason why my hat is on right now, because we learned a lot from the greats that came before us, and we learned from Michael and Prince about how to have a mystique. So when people say, "Why don't you take your hat off?" I say, "I only take it off on stage and in the bedroom." Anyway, speaking of in the bedroom, before I get to the in my bed story, the tell me story was, like I said, they had me cut my hair to my natural hair color. So on the set of the video for Tell Me, I went in the bathroom and dyed my hair back blonde.
Wow.
And they was like, what you gonna do with, you gonna ruin your career? I was like, man, I done seen more this week than I seen in my whole life. So if y'all wanna send me home, then fine. So if you look at the first, oh, okay.
That is.
Yeah, if you look at the first album, not that was the single.
This is, if you look at this picture, we have a lot of makeup on.
Right.
Because they used to make us believe that we had to wear makeup.
Right. And I ain't have a mustache.
They really
drew that
made
on.
us believe that we had to wear makeup to take these pictures. And once we figured out we didn't have to wear makeup, and y'all weren't going to make us look like vampires, we were great.
So we went and we'll sign this for you, man. We went and like I said, I dyed my hair. And if you look at the first Dru Hill album, you'll notice that on all my solo photos and on the group photos, I got a hat on. Then when the whole blonde thing worked, they always wanted me to take my hat off. Yeah. So that's how it usually happened. And then after this single, that actually sold 99.99999, and then they cut it off because they didn't want the single to sell. They wanted to sell the album. So our first single could have been platinum, but we got a gold plaque to say 99999.
And we sold no albums when we dropped, and they wanted to drop us. Even though we had a platinum and a gold single, we sold like 26,000 the first week. And they were all running around like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? And they sent us on the road. And once we got on the road, it was like every market we went to, it was like 30,000 a week, 30,000 a week, 30,000 a week. So I say that to say it's always been about getting in front of the people. The things that we believed in, everybody didn't believe in. But once we got in the front of the people, everybody believed, and there wasn't nothing they could say. So,
yeah, they was like, that fake Jodeci. You sound just like Jodeci. I was like, thank you. I was doing my best KC impression. Appreciate you. And so then it came to the second single, and it was the song "In My Bed," which I don't know if you guys know, but famously, I didn't want to sing that song. Now, the reason why was because wasn't nobody sleeping in my bed that I knew of, and I didn't want to sing that. Turns out a lot of artists didn't want to sing it. There's a demo version of this song sang by 112, Jagged Edge, Usher. Nobody can make the song work. And I think the reason why we were able to make it work was because I took that anger of not wanting to sing the song and put it into the song. So that's why I'm like, I got this feeling.
And we absolutely left him in the studio to sing the song by himself.
Well, you know, that's kind of interesting.
So that worked. That worked for us. And then when it came to the remix, the So Def remix, we went to the studio. It was nothing but a beat playing, just going bump, bump, bump.
And me and Cisco wrote it, just so y'all
Right.
know.
Because
me and
it was
Cisco
like,
wrote
bump,
that
bump,
remix,
bump.
but they said y'all too young and nobody knows y'all, so we're not going to say that.
Because we thought when the So Def remix, we was excited because we were young and we know that Jermaine Dupri had jump crisscross. Yeah. So we was thinking we was gonna get like this, this great remix to our song that was platinum, like Noak said. So the single had gone platinum, and then we were like, we asked Jermaine. We was like, man, we was all excited. Hey, man, where's the remix? He was like, y'all ain't write it yet. I'm going to Magic City, and got up and left.
and then me and him sat there. I was like, somebody sleeping in my bed, messing with my head. And then he finished it off, and then we left him and went Magic City.
So I hurried up and sang my part, and then I went to Magic City. We were 18. We were just.
And then just to insult the industry,
insult.
whatever it is. I've been out there drinking tequila. The head of the label came to Magic City and got us. Hiram Hicks, who was the head of Island at the time, found out we was at Magic City and walked in there and was like
he was our parent.
Right. What are y'all doing in here? Get out. It was like, we just finished the song, man.
I was like, I just got here. But the rest is history, and every commercial release has gone either gold, platinum, or multi-platinum, and we thank y'all for that.
That's amazing.
Facts.
That's amazing.
Hey, well, listen. Let me ask a quick question. Anybody, one of you guys can answer. What has changed in 25 years? I know you guys are celebrating your 25th anniversary.
The members.
Give a round of applause to
Yes.
Drew Hill.
The members changed. That's what changed.
And
Some people just
I'd like
gave
to
up.
know,
Chuck, you gave up on life, Chuck. No, I know a lot of people were wondering where these other two guys, Jazz and Woody.
Hey, don't say it that aggressive now.
Like she's like, Chad, like we told him not to come. He told us he wasn't coming. Like, shit, if we did what the other two members of the group wanted to do, which was whatever it is that they're doing, we wouldn't be here right now. So the question was, do we just give up and say, all right, well, I guess Dru Hill's over because these two guys said so?
No.
Or do the people that want to be here keep going?
Right.
And that leads us to our label mates, Player, who is black, and Smoke on the far left. I mean, or your right.
Now y'all gotta understand, like, and things like this, you get to explain things that people don't know.
Yeah.
So, Smoking Black, part of Player. They were our label mates on Def Jam. My oldest son's mother used to come home every day and say, if you don't work with them, I'm gonna leave you. And at the time, I didn't know. I had to learn all the records that they were writing for, with Timbaland and for Aaliyah and for Genuine. Justin Timberlake being a part of the basement, for you guys that are Jodeci fans. Like, we went to see them on tour.
Every male voice on Aaliyah is them.
We were, we were known. So it was a thing where we were doing our second album. We were going out to do our first tour. And, I was like, we need to bring these my brothers. We need to bring these guys on tour. So we brought them on our first tour. No, and maybe nobody knew how close we were at the time. And I was just selling my brothers. Like, I need and I hung with them more than I hung with my group when we was on tour. I'm just being for real because I believed in them. Because I didn't know at the time people who could sing like us. So I just wanted them to be around. So you fast forward years later, you know, it's new for y'all, but for us, these are literally people that have been around us since we had our first chance to show ourselves without the record company and without all of the things that come along. It's just like, we want people around that can sing. We want people around that have the same enthusiasm as us. And, you know, I used to hang out with them and they told me they weren't going to do radio.
Yeah. Fun fact about Smoking Black. You know that third Jodeci album where Jodeci sounded a little bit different?
Yes, sir.
That was Smoking Black.
Smoking Black, baby.
You know, Genuine. If you're horny, let's do it. Smoking Black. That's them on the background. It's so anxious. Go back and listen to it. You can hear Smoke literally on that top note.
Fact.
That, so anxious. I can't hit the note. That's why he in the group.
Hey, rest in peace.
And wait. Before we even go there, the very first concert that I had gone to was a Jodeci concert, and I believe it was me and you, right? No, we
was there in our white boots and
right. We wanted to get discovered. Anyway, next thing you know, because Smoking Black was on tour with Jodeci, so they come out and you know they were singing their music because they were called the Basement at the time before they were Player.
And if y'all didn't know who the Basement was, it was Player. It was Genuine. It was Missy and her group Sister before she became Missy.
Absolutely.
Timbaland, like
Stevie J.
Steve. It was a lot of people that you guys know now as writers, producers, and
Right.
you know, Devontae had one of the greatest collectors in the world.
We used to call it college. It was like music college. I mean, you
Right.
could
And
go
Higgle
in.
how God worked, man. Higgle, and then I'm gonna pass the mic to you, Black. Once I seen them come out on stage with Jodeci, I was like, bro, we gotta get signed. We got signed that summer. And fast forward to now, and it came full circle.
I guess for me, it's always been a so when you get into business initially, you get into it because you want to sing. You know what I mean? So I can speak for Smoke on that, and rest in peace to Static Major. We initially got into the business to be singers, but being around Jodeci and Devontae, he was working on so many different projects that if you waited on him to work with you, then you wouldn't get nothing done. So we had to learn. He learned how to play piano, and me and Static started writing. So that kind of birthed the writing side. So for me to be here now, he's accomplished some great things as writers, but ultimately we got in the business to sing. So to have an opportunity to do what you truly love to do is a blessing, and I appreciate you.
Yeah, I could play the piano. He plays the piano.
I mean, look, and just to piggyback off that, my man called me up, and this real family. My man called me up and said, "No, we just want to sing again." They were home, you know. Rest in peace, Static Major. You know, it was hard to continue a group when somebody passes away. And my man said all he wanted to do was sing.
Because it's bigger than it's bigger than the writing. The writing took care of the family. You know what I mean? But again, your heart and your passion is to do what you was born to do.
And for those who might not know who Static Major is, that song "Shorty Wanna Thug." He was like, he was like, "Oh snap!"
You know, a lot of stuff.
I can't believe it. Lil Wayne can sing. No, he couldn't.
No, it was Static.
Oh, Static.
Oh, that's funny.
So the thing was like, and I'm a big believer in R&B at its core. When R&B went pop, I went home. In 2000, when R&B went, nothing against it, but I went home because I said, you know what? I'd rather still be able to know what to do than forget what to do for some money.
Facts.
Yeah, my
So-
bad on that one.
No,
too.
no, it ain't as bad. No, that's
That
not that.
sing rap stuff.
No, but
I was just messing
but-
around. Now it is what R&B is. It's like, wait, y'all rapping?
But I mean, the whole thing is, I remember us getting one of our first interviews, and it was from Vibe magazine, and I remember them saying that Dru Hill made a pure R&B album, It wasn't hip hop R&B. We weren't doing what 112 and everybody else was doing. It was like, we need these old chords. I'm working on the synclavier. You know what I'm saying? I need what created what we love. So being able to do that, it was easy for us to venture off into what Cisco did, me producing hip hop and, you know, like everything else, because we always stayed to the core. That's why you got these guys. We could have put anybody in the group, but for me, it was always about, I don't care what the hype is, we can sing better than all y'all.
He mean that too, y'all.
Like this.
He mean
Walks by me every day. And love are the same. The woman that stolen my heart, and beauty is her name. I hope that I can make you mine, for another man steals your heart. Once his beauty is mine, so we will never be apart.
That's what it, at the end of the day,
Yeah.
the money is cool.
Oh my goodness.
You can be with a record company, they can promote you to death. But it's a lot of people to get promoted to death that can't do what you just did.
Huh, man?
Let me say this real quick.
It's called brainwash money.
So what happens too when they was Cisco and Nokia was both talking about what happens with these record labels. When they found that you got a gift, and we've been blessed to have a writer's gift, production gift, that kind of started to push us away from being artists and more as writers and producers. So we looked up, and it was 3 years, and we had been just in the studio writing for Aaliyah, Genuine, Tank, Levert, Gerald Levert, rest in peace. But that happens, and then you start chasing the money, right? Because then you start having families, and it becomes more about you being a provider and protector. So again, to be able to, if y'all was there last night, and if y'all coming tonight, we sing like it's our last time because we are appreciative to have the opportunity to still be able to do this, and not just do it, but do it at a high level.
It's a blessing.
praise.
It's
Absolutely.
definitely a blessing for all of
Absolutely,
us
man.
to be here. And you guys have been doing this so long and so well.
Thank you.
You know, and there's so many other options out there. I mean, but you keep true to R&B. You keep true to the music. And so what keeps you there? I mean, that you're not tempted to go in other directions?
Also, how did he get here?
Let
Everybody,
me introduce my homeboy right.
turn his microphone up a little bit.
It's all love. Check,
The
check,
be-
check.
The beginning of that is we were able to make R&B in a time when people wanted us to be other things. We were able to be signed, and you know, my man Kevin Peck back there,
Shout out to Kevin Pack.
Impeccable.
like,
Stand up,
manager
Kevin,
since
so we can
14 years
acknowledge
old.
you.
like for real, like we, like I produced 5 songs on our first album. You don't get to do that. We got to co-write 5 songs on our first album, and that was because not that the songs weren't good, but people fought against us not being able to do that. Like, it was like, no, these guys got with it. So, you know, we came into a thing, and this guy right here, so before we even got signed, Scola had a song called Let's Get Personal. That was a national single that, I mean, was like everywhere, not just in Baltimore, but just like bigger than anything that we knew in Baltimore. So as a kid, I went and saw him out in the hood. I took them to the hood. I'm like, I need to know where this guy is that is doing what we want to do by himself.
Independently, yeah.
And we went to, you tell the rest, we went to the record store where he was, and I'm like, man, I want your whole album.
No, he not lying, man. Big shout out to Ro Brooks and my man Antonio Murchison. I was thinking as an entrepreneur, you know, coming from the streets of West Baltimore, it was a lot going on. And I just took it upon myself to say, you know, I'm a boss, man. And I felt like I had the talent to write and produce. And we formed a company, man. We was young. And
Tell Me
put up-
came out, and we
Yeah.
could not get him off the charts. He was number
Yeah,
one.
the DMV. I was like,
Yeah, we could not. We could not. He stayed on that number one R&B chart for so long. It
Yeah.
took our first single, "Tell Me." We was fighting literally against him. So we went to him like, "Hey man, you sure you want to sign this
Look, now
slave
tell him,
deal?"
now tell him for real.
We all signed it. You want to sign it?
Now, I had 100,000. His man wanted 150 for his album, and I wasn't paying 150. I had 100,000.
look.
And that was in '96, so that was like 1,000,003.
But if you think about it, though, right? At the time, I was only doing like 30,000 units at a time, but we was getting $9.99 a pop, though, right? So when record companies would come and say, because they didn't believe at first until I put the music out, and then every record company wanted to interview me after that, right? But after I did the math, I'm like, man, look, I can count real good. I mean, every 3 months I'm making 300,000. You feel me? Like y'all go and keep
I'll
y'all
holler
little
back.
change.
I'll
I'm
holler
free. You feel me?
I say this too.
So then when Woody, let me get a little more game, please.
Yeah.
So then when Woody quit the group the first time, if you look at the Wild Wild West video, you'll see it's 4 of us in the beginning and only 3 of us at the end.
And that means Scola was beefing.
Right.
So
Right.
so when Woody didn't decided he wanted to pursue a gospel
I
career.
said 5. We all mature here. I said 5 fucks up the money. So my man got to go home.
Yep.
Because you came with my man, and that's just being a straight businessman. And he wanted to fight me forever and whatever. And but eventually it came to understand I'm a businessman. At the end of it, I can write, produce, all that, stand on my head, whatever. But at the end of the day, the business don't make sense. It don't make sense right then.
Facts.
And that was just in confusion to somebody that wasn't 100% with us. And that's why my man's still here right now.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I do want to say this though, not to get all spiritual on y'all, but I like to give God the praise all the time, man. Before
Amen to
I
that.
do anything, man.
That's
I wanted
crazy.
my brother Smoking and Black and Static. I wanted to be in their group when I first met them back
I
in
was
the
just
day,
going
right?
to tell her it's crazy how. So Dru Hill, shout out to DP.
Shout
He
out
was
to
one of the
DP.
producers, also in the basement. He's a part of the swing mob of Jodeci's band. He was good friends with Scola.
and the
So
songs we did with Maya.
we met him I met Scola back in the day, and it's just crazy how God ordains everything. And he said he wanted to be in the group, us to be in the group together, and look at today, we are in the group together.
That's
so
God, man.
nothing short but the amazing grace of God that brings everything together.
Absolutely. I consider us a super group now. I mean, Player, even though I was a solo artist doing it independently, man, my brothers, Cisco, Noak, even Woody and Jazz, they always looked out, man. But Noak made it his business to come find me. You heard me. Like, he made it his
Let's not
business.
leave
to come
out
get me.
Rough Ends. Because
Can't leave out Rough Ends.
that was kind of
No
the bridge
more
too.
shopping
Shout out
is
to Rough Ends.
free. Yes,
When
sir.
I did Rough Ends. I didn't do No More Shopping Sprees, but I did their official first single on the Blue Streak soundtrack.
Facts.
The first record that they ever had.
Hold up, you
Blue
got
Streak.
me on it. Yeah, that's right. That's
and
right.
I called
that's
my
right.
man up. I used to call my man up. It'd be 2:00 in the morning. I'd be like, yo, get on the train, come to New York. I got this money for you.
He's in the bag and I'm gone.
Let's do Baltimore.
Let's go, baby. Let's do Baltimore.
Well, you know, this piano player,
Fact.
this piano player over here has been a little quiet, man. I wanna
Because he
hear
always quiet.
He's always quiet,
What's
man.
in his
That's
head?
right.
I wanna
Get him,
see what's
OG.
in
He
his
let his
head.
work do the talking.
I'm the quiet one.
Except for when you take lead on the mic.
And I'm trying to concentrate because this boat is moving.
But, man.
So then I ended up doing a solo album, basically in hopes that Woody would have the time that he needed to come back to the group. So after that whole fiasco, I opened my album up. I told the whole group, "Hey man, I'm gonna do an album. Why don't y'all come in, get some publishing?" Nobody wanted to do anything except for Nokia.
Right.
Nokia ended up writing the best solo ballad I've ever sang, called "How Can I Love You Tonight."
I believe in the team, man. Like, that's the thing.
That's
like,
a hot joint, too.
and that's not to cut you off, but he could tell you when we were kids, like, I could sing, but I don't care about singing. I've always been a fan of everybody that's around.
Wow.
So even though sometimes I could be indignant. Sometimes, but I know how to make everybody mad to get done what I need to get done. So
Especially
I say,
him.
Thank you afterwards, and you keep on
Right,
going
we used
on
to
about
fist
your
fight every
business.
day.
Especially him.
I'm going to cuss and fuss.
Yeah, we fought so much. Jazz was like, "Man, y'all keep fighting. I'm gonna fight y'all."
I think
was
it's still
like,
a hole in my mother wall.
It is.
My goodness. But you know what? That is a big thing. I'm glad that you brought that up. The camaraderie. I mean, it's a group, and you guys are like brothers. But family sometimes doesn't always get along. That's true. So what happens when there's disturbances?
All right,
Yeah,
let me
well,
start
I never
out.
wanted to be a solo artist. I always wanted to be the best group. And if you look at Michael's story, it was very similar initially. He really wanted to work with his brothers. And if you notice, the Jackson 5, each member kind of had, life happened and they had other things they wanted to do. And then Michael ended up going solo. So after the success of my solo album, I came back around. I mean, I wanted to do what the plan was to come back to Dru Hill, but Woody wasn't ready to come back yet. So I kind of did a solo album, my second solo album, and I did the best that I could to make it sound as different from anything that Dru Hill would do, so that when we were finally ready to come back together, then that sound would still be, pure. And I didn't want to do
And
it
because I
myself.
was working at the record company, what they really wanted him to do was sing Dru Hill songs and let us.
They
just
did.
be
They
on.
wanted, and I was like, nah, squad first. So
I mean, I was the A&R at the time,
Right.
while he was working on that album. So it's like, and that's the weird thing about the music business, because they know we together, but it's kind of like your man doing his album, and even though you know him, we're not going to tell you nothing that's going on. And we want you to do this over here at the same time, and it's like,
Right.
y'all
Divide
just
and
really
conquer.
want us
They
not
play
to be
games,
together.
man. Come on, keep it a buck. They play games.
divide and conquer. So that was their plan. And you got some people that say that my 3 Million album was a flop, but it was really because of the blacklist that I got put on, because I didn't, I didn't do what it was that they wanted me to do.
Facts.
And I don't know if you noticed over the past
We can't tell that whole story because,
Right.
yeah.
over the past 20 years, if you notice, a lot of artists been doing the best they can to get their masters. And a lot of people don't know this. I own my own masters from my solo music.
Facts. Facts.
And we learned that from Michael and James Brown and
Sam
Prince.
Cooke. Sam
And,
Cooke. Yeah.
no, I'm saying
The greats.
who we learned it from personally.
Personally, right.
We learned it from Michael and Prince personally. Michael Jackson flew me out to meet him.
Wow.
Facts.
Like, I was like, what? Why you want to meet me? We all doing our best you impression.
Amen.
And man, he said, I think you're really talented. You're gonna go far in this industry. And that's when Cisco disappeared, because it was a mic drop moment for me, because mic drop, pun intended. Look, when I saw Michael Jackson do the moonwalk, I thought to myself, it felt like the world stopped. And I was like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years old. I was like, that's what I want to do.
Wow.
And so I did the best that I could to pattern myself after Michael by having a signature riff. Yeah! A signature move when I do the one-hand jam. It's not a cartwheel with 2 hands. It's the one-hand jam, now you know. And a signature look. If you dress up like me for Halloween, you know it's
You did it.
Cisco. And
Facts.
that's what I learned
Facts.
from the greats that came before us, and we've always done the best that we can to always show reverence and respect for the artists that came before us and
Facts.
paved the way. And basically after the second album, I finally came back. We saw Scola and Woody on the road singing his
Yeah, I was producing Woody's gospel.
his
project.
gospel project.
Right.
And so I was like, Woody, you ready to come back? And Woody was like, well, I ain't coming back unless Scola could come with me. And then we was like, we always wanted him in the group anyway. Come on. Everybody eat.
Appreciate that, man.
And that was our third platinum album,
Dru World
Dru
Order.
World Order.
Absolutely.
And that's how Scola got in the group. And then The rest is more of a movie. It's been a lot of.
I can't wait for the movie.
gotta say-
I'm waiting for your movie to
Facts.
come out.
And the problem is I still look the same. So who gonna play me?
I gotta say this though, real quick. You spoke on respect, right? The fact that we're here on the Soul Train cruise, man. Like it was a dream
we
of mine to
started.
be a part of anything Soul Train, right? Even though Michael Jackson was moonwalking, but I remember seeing Jeffrey Daniels, dog. Shout out to Jeffrey Daniels, man. Like I feel like his moonwalk was so incredible, right? I jumped off the bed and started rehearsing like because of Jeff. But I just wanted to shine that light on him because a lot of people think Mike was doing it first. We was in the streets doing it, but big shout out to Shalimar, Jeffrey Daniels. I see you, soldier. I just wanted to say that, man.
That's just
So
like a
let me
big shout out to
ask
Michael
you guys
Jackson.
a question.
Well,
With his
Chris
deep
Brown
voice.
can flip better than me too. So,
Look, when I met,
and his hair's blonde.
y'all people think Michael Jackson talk like, when I met Michael Jackson, he walked in the room and said, "How you doing, No Gil? I love your music."
Yeah.
And I literally froze. And next thing I knew, they was like, and it was like, "Yo, you've been standing there for 5 minutes." I was like, Michael Jackson said he knew who I was.
Right.
sir.
He dapped me up. He was very different than the person you saw on screen. And then that brings me to Prince. Prince and Dru Hill had the same lawyer, Londell McMillan, when he wrote "Slave" on his face, because once again it goes
I got
back.
this free on my face.
Yeah, it goes.
man.
It goes back to that respect and what we learned from the artists that came before us. Because we was like, Prince, can we get a song? He was like, "Do you own your masters?"
All right, can I
He
tell
was
y'all?
serious about that.
Can I
out to
tell y'all
Rest
my
in
Prince
I was
story?
like, what?
Can I tell y'all my
What's the
Prince
matter?
That
story
was a
real
good
quick?
Prince impression too.
So I met.
He was shorter than me with heels on.
Prince invited us to a show at the Hollywood Bowl, right? So we went to the show and we all enamored and going through everything you go through to meet Prince. So he had an after party when it was still Billboard Live at the club on Sunset. Before it was the Key Club.
Last
now it
place
was
that
Billboard
Biggie
Live.
went to.
So I'm walking upstairs because I would always leave everybody, whatever it is. So
Facts.
I walk up the steps and Prince standing right there.
Oh my God.
And he had a lollipop. So we were sitting there eating a lollipop. And I'm like, Prince standing right in front of me eating a lollipop. And he looking at me and I'm looking at him eating a lollipop. We're looking, and he was like, "You gonna say something or not?" So I was like, "Hi." So a couple of years later, when he was married to Mata, I was working in Electric Lady Studio. Right. So I was leaving out to go get a hot dog at Papayas or whatever it was. And I opened up the door, it was Prince. And he said, "Hey, Nokia." And his wife spoke to me too, and I'm like, "Prince know who I am." Jesus Christ.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man.
Now, Prince was
He was the
gangster, though,
man.
He was
So
gangster.
let me ask one question for all of you guys, because
Yes,
we got to
sir.
get out of here soon. For artists coming up behind you now, with all this information that you guys have, 25 years or more in the business, individually, what would you tell the new artists?
Stay prayerful.
I
Hold
would-
on, let me get this. Stay prayerful.
So you want to start that out?
Yeah.
Jesus.
It don't get no better than that. You gotta stay prayerful, stay strong, and stay true to yourself. As you've heard from a lot of these stories, a lot of the, labels and stuff will try to split you up, try to make you do this, do that. Just stay true to yourself. Keep God first.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir, boy.
Sage.
And that's all you will hear from me today.
He's
I would-
saving his voice, hit that note.
I would say definitely keep God first, but believe in yourself. You'll get more no's than you get yeses, and a lot of it's going to take you to just have the intestinal fortitude to believe that you are who you say you are, and do the work. I mean, it's work that comes that's involved in it. You know what I mean? I hear my brothers tell stories about how artist development. There's no artist development no more. So I would say really develop yourself, develop your brand. Because you only get one shot, like Eminem said. You only truly get one shot. So you got to be ready to be ready. And if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
Love that. Love it.
Facts. Well said, brother.
Now you go ahead, because I talk all along. And
I'm gonna keep it simple on top of what Smoking Black just said. I encourage the youngins to learn the business, right? And like they said, believe in yourself. and hold on to your morals and principles, man, and believe in yourself and just push forward. Don't be scared to do the work, like Black just said, pretty much. That's it for me.
I would say,
Yeah.
I would say, as an artist, chase your art and your vision, not the money. If you chase your
Great
art and your
advice.
vision and you're like really true to it, people will see that, and as long as you stay true to that, the money will be secondary. I don't even think about money. It's like because I do the best I can to keep my morals straight, and I always in the forefront of my mind it's always squad first.
Facts.
If I eat, everybody eat.
Facts.
When I got my deal, where I owned all my masters, I made sure everybody got paid when I got paid.
Facts.
And that's why, 25, 30 years later, even, when they did their best to put me on the blacklist, we're somewhere different around the world
Thanks
every
to
week.
y'all. Thanks to the fans.
Yeah,
Facts.
every week.
Thanks to
Absolutely.
y'all, man.
You know what? It's such an honor just talking to you guys. I mean, you've got beautiful spirits. We love your career. We absolutely love you. And did you like the interview? Did you like spending time?
Well, wait. We're gonna want one. He got to
Can I
say
say
the last
something
word
before we go?
now. He got to get his turn. He got to get his turn.
He was trying to get out of it, but
No, I was
We're here.
because I'm long-winded sometimes, but like I'm the only person here that got a chance to be an executive too. I got a chance to do A&R for a long. I got to work for a bunch of record companies and
Work
all
for
that
it, though,
stuff.
bro.
Not just be there, but actually work. Like
No, you
I'm
work
the
for it.
person that looking at people like this, like what are y'all doing? I'm all of that, and the word business is bigger than the word music.
Facts.
The word business is bigger than the word music. So if you just want to make music, stay out the business.
Facts.
how about that?
If you want to be all creative and whatever, stay out the business because you have to sell something, and when it sells, you great. When it doesn't sell, nobody cares about you. Now I'm gonna tell y'all something for real. This is how deep it gets. When I was selling records, I used to get savings bonds for my kids every year. I got at least 2 kids that the record company bought all the furniture for my kids.
Facts.
I'm talking about real. I'm dinner with the head of Atari, the head of the label, the people that you don't get to see.
Right.
But the minute that I wasn't keeping the lights on,
Time to go.
it was no phone call.
That's real.
I watched them not show up. Your parents died. I done made you $100 million. I can't get a bouquet. And I'm still making you that money
Yeah.
right now. The only thing that saved a person like me is I cared about writing songs more than singing.
Facts.
And I knew that the artist got paid last. I could sit back now in my house, Indian style, and make
Easy.
a living. I don't choose to do that because who will do that while you're still being, but that was the thought. Because one day I'm gonna have gray hair. One day,
I think that day's the day.
One
one day,
One day.
I'm not gonna want to care about y'all and that candle wax y'all saw me because I ain't even want to put the candle wax on me. I was just finding something to do because I ain't care about singing. But you made that my life. You made that my life. Yeah, I'm waiting for you. I'm not pouring candle wax. I'd be leather if I was still pouring my candle wax on myself for 25 years. But beyond that, this business makes you something that 9 times out of 10 you don't want to be later. It's just like a snapshot. It's like you're a sexual person, be sexual forever. You write songs, I don't never want to see you being an artist. You're an artist, I don't never want to see you being a producer. It puts you in a box. You don't get to grow. You don't get to be you. So you have to be around people that push you and people that see stuff in you that you don't see even 30 years later. it's still Kevin to come to me and be like, man, you need to take your shirt off because they want to see you. You know what I'm saying, or whatever else. But for me, it's like, man, I got 3 kids and I be feeling like eating, so I'm not taking my shirt off for nobody.
He said that he don't. He said that he don't like to sing, but one of our biggest and my favorite Dru Hill songs is a song called "Beauty" that he's singing.
He wrote
all of the background music on all of the singing in the background. That's all him.
He also wrote it.
I might be singing the lead over here, but he's singing
But he
all
also wrote
those
it
backgrounds.
and wrote it.
So for the people that don't think that Nokio can sing, our biggest song that we created,
100 million accountant.
Huh, man.
he's singing all of the backgrounds.
I gotta
Fantastic.
say, bro, you put in the work though. Like to the point when I came to the group, I said, man, you got these dudes spoiled, man. You up all night doing this and doing that, man. I gotta give you props, dog. You put in the work. Facts, man.
Beautiful.
Listen, and we gonna
Also,
let
lastly,
know.
also
I love
lastly, I don't write anything. Every song you ever heard me write is freestyle.
I love my people. And that goes back to what I was saying earlier. I love R&B. I didn't want to lose that feeling. So I went home. I was fine with being in the house. I was fine with getting my residual checks and whatever else in order to always know that I can make what we make.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Fantastic.
We
Fantastic.
thank you for all that you do. Don't we love them?
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Oh my goodness, what a great conversation.
So we gonna get out of here, y'all. Cause Dru Hill got things to do. And
We can
got
talk
things to
forever,
do,
though.
and y'all got
Same
things
for
to do.
y'all.
So ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Dru Hill.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank
Thank you for having us.
Amazing.